Good morning and a happy Saturday to all you Smite fans out there. We're kicking off the day with the Smite Challenger Circuit over in the North American region this time around. We've been doing all this SCC, and this is the final week of the SCC, at least until the playoffs comes around. My name is J Mac Tucker. Joining me is Gora Miser. We've got the Winter Dogs and the Average Joes for our matchup of today. Sure to maybe at least be a fun one. It's kind of like the games that we got to see yesterday.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious. I think we've had 2 games this week in North America get to the 50+ kill mark, and the only reason I can only say 2 is because the third one was a blur to me. I will none that set, so I didn't have to worry too much.
Let's take a look at the schedule for today. We do have that Winter Dogs Average Joes. Tomorrow we got Just F6 and Elysium, and then these will be the final 2 games, or the final 2 sets of the SCC for phase number 2, and then that's getting everybody all ready for playoffs. Let's look at the standings for North America, and as you'll see, Winter Dogs sitting at the top of the charts, Average Joes sitting at the bottom. So even with a loss today, Average Joes will not be able, or if a win today, Average Joes will not be able to move forward. With a loss, the Winter Dogs won't be able to move down, so no matter what really happens on it, the standings will stay as the same here, which is maybe kind of why I'm expecting a little bit of more silliness, kind of like we got to see yesterday. And who knows? You never know with these guys. They might come out and surprise us.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what Winter Dogs does, because it's usually like the first seed team that likes to goof around a little bit more, but also when I look at it, like I'm wondering what kind of play style they would have. Like, all the things I know about them, look, Benny Q will pull out anything and everything, and the problem with Benny Q is that he will make it look competitive. That's the thing that really, like, we're talking, hey, metas where Artemis is not even being looked at. Benny Q's still locked in things like Blink Artemis. Granted, now Benny's been playing in the mid lane, but there's, like, willingly playing Anubis the last few weeks anyway. Like, there's a lot of open opportunities. Right. I'm curious to see what WoW he does. There's also a chance that they don't goof around at all, and they just show their dominance for a good reason.
It's all depending on what they want to do, but I think bringing up Benny Q is probably the biggest one, because this team in the regular season, game number 2s, if they win game 1, they almost always just play the Anubis mid, so I wonder if maybe we'll get to see the Anubis mid in game 1. We haven't seen the triple doggo comp out of them yet. We've only seen the double doggo from the Winter Dogs, and I think they need to round that out and get the Fenrir in there. They've only done the Cerberus Anubis, but outside of that, the rest of this team just dominant across the board. It's the reason these guys are the number 1. It's very rare that they not only drop games, but drop sets as a whole. They've only dropped a couple of them. Even Sleekness has been one of the only teams that's been able to take games away from this team as a whole. They're going up against the Average Joes today. A couple of the old school box boys and some of the up and coming here into the SCC, a little bit newer into the SCC as a whole as this team here. And they've been struggling a little bit to kind of find their footing in the later stages of the game. The Average Joes have had some stronger early game compositions. When it comes to those later game team fights, that's where some of these teams are kind of able to narrow that gap up and usually get a win over them. But been looking a little bit stronger in the latter half of this phase.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm a big fan of a lot of players on Average Joes. It just feels like they haven't been able to get everything to click together they want. I'm actually, like, I really like watching Promise play. That's been one that's been, like, very fun to watch out of the support role. Bayernary as well has just been someone that I think has consistently been, like you said, always doing really well. It always seems, and this is very equitable to Just F6 in Europe, where things go pretty well for this team. They're good at keeping up a lot of this competitive nature, especially against some of the top teams here, like against Herculean Hoops. But then something goes wrong. That's always like, it's just one little thing, and most of the time you learn from that, and you never see them do that, at least same mistake again. It's just been trying to get those going for them. And like you said, they're not going to be able to move up in the standings today, but it is a team that I have high hopes for going forward, I guess, into probably next year at this point, since they're in the 6th, so that means they're not going to be making it to the playoffs. Top 3 go, and then number 4 has to play against the SOC team. So hopefully they stick through it, play together. I really like what this team has evolved into. It'll be fun to see what they can do today.
Well, we'll get to see what kind of fun stuff we get to see today between these two teams. Picks and bans for game number 1 is ready to go. Winter Dogs versus Average Joes for our first game of the day, our first set of the day, and a full day of Smite Esports action. We'll get it kicked off here in game number 1 over in SCC. We've been seeing SCC NA kind of follows a lot of similarities to the SPL, though they do have some small divergence away from the meta, namely Persephone has been one god that the NASCC in particular really loves to play and also just really loves to ban.
She has been, I don't know that I've actually seen a lot, if any, Persephone competitively, realistically, since the
rework.
Rework. Well, because, like, it was that weird thing of, like, she was comp banned for a reason, and then that got fixed. She was available for 1 week, but that was pre-rework. I remember her getting locked in by Shinto in the SPL. Then she got reworked and got comp banned because she was reworked.
Right.
And then nobody's really touched her since. I think there's been a few SCC games. Like, her ult's still sick.
Yeah,
I just don't get to see a lot of her.
I think it's only Hurrywin that I can think of that's played her in the SPL. ever since the rework.
Has he?
I think it was.
feel like I should know that.
I want to say it was Hurry Win. I want to say it was at a Titan set. But outside of that, it's only been the NASCC that's even looked towards her. Benny Q in particular has been a player that liked to kind of flex over towards this god. So seeing him kind of ban it away here
My God,
from his own
5
team.
games in the SBL.
That's interesting to know. So now we look at this. We're blowing the minds of the stats guy here. Game number 1 though. First bans that come through: Persephone, Artio, and Nike. She has been having a stellar performance in the NASCC. She's got over 20 games played and has like a 70% win rate. So she's been getting some pretty good love over here in NA. And then on the other bands, it will be the Odin, Geb, and Yamoja. Cthulhu as a first pick, not something that we see all too often of the NA teams. It's usually kind of just Mogao really playing this. Occasionally Uzi does pop this one out from the average Joes here, but then on the response, Heimdall and Raijin and then Uller set for the Winter Dogs.
This is a good top 3 for Winter Dogs. This is it is a controlling front line in just Cthulhu. Like I don't care what Guardian you log in beside it. That is in and of itself something that is going to control a lot in the team fight. You get the best hunter in the game right now, Uller, who's been doing a lot of damage. We've seen a lot of that burst and what he was capable of doing yesterday, as well as the set, which hyper carry to the limit. I mean, the way that he's been playing lately, and specifically I think the way the jungle has gone, has really reactivated Set and allowed him to flourish in a way that I think this is a team comp that if they get even just a slight lead early on, their team fights are going to start rolling very heavily in favor of them.
Guan Yu is the final third lock-in here for the Joes before the bans, and then it's going to be an Ares and a Cirquette, and then the Morrigan and Terra banned away by average Joes, and now we jump into the final rounds of picks. You got a little bit of that front line, need a little bit more, and that's a good one to grab it there, Cerberus, which means we could potentially see some flexibility now with this Guan Yu. We've most often been seeing him in the solo lane, so maybe we see the Cerberus now. Maybe we move out of the support role, been seeing a little bit of airs of that in SPL. I know PBM played that one yesterday in support role, so curious to see where he'll line out, and then a Kuzenbo locked in, most likely now with that Cthulhu going to be going over to support as well.
Yeah, and honestly, that makes more sense to me. Like, well, Cerberus fits in the Guardian role just as easily, but like Kuzenbo, like, let's just face it, Cthulhu should not and does not belong in the duo lane. Period. Just blanket statement. He should not be over there. Maybe in casuals you can probably make it work, but at least competitively, don't put him over there. I really like the comp though from Winter Dogs. Now that I see this, it's either Set or Tsukuyomi mid. Set mid has definitely been the one that's definitely like more common, especially last year, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that. And that is a little nerve-wracking, maybe a little difficult for the like early game up against Raijin, but once you get online, you're just going to do a lot of damage. You're going to do it just fine, and guess what? Now you got 2 assassins. You might actually be able to find first blood really quick just because of that.
Yeah, Winter Dogs just kind of going for a kill composition here. I mean, Kuzenbo, Tsukuyomi, that's just screaming kill for the back 2 that they picked up, and then you got Cthulhu, and then obviously Uller, probably the #1 hunter at this point, just because of that 8.9 change that have come through. Game number 1, though, ready to go for Winter Dogs and Average Joes. Let's hop right in and see where all of it does fall in place. It will be Benny Q taking the Set mid, and I'm honestly kind of glad that's where that one ends up going, just because I don't think the Tsukuyomi mid would have worked out so well for it. Maybe it could have, but I doubt it.
I've seen Tsukuyomi solo.
Right.
We've seen Tsukuyomi carry.
Okay.
And so I don't think it would be the worst thing in mid, but I know that we've seen Set mid succeed in the past, so it makes way more sense to me. Again, it's also just good damage. I think this is going to be an interesting early game for the average Joes. Ratatosker and Raijin at level 3 could really run over Benny Q and at least lock him down, make things feel really awkward in that lane. If they don't get a kill, they at least get a lot of pressure. But then there's Set Tsukuyomi. And Set Tsukuyomi means they can kill you because they're assassins. And so I'm really worried, I think, for the first blood. You have to play very cautiously if you're Teepers here just to make sure that things don't get out of hand too quickly.
I'm just imagining a bloodbath this game. I mean, both of these compositions just scream, we want to kill the enemy team as fast as possible, as many times as possible. And they've really drafted to do that. The double assassin is here highlighting between Kirmi, Benny Q, that 2v2 in mid. Level 2, especially level 3, going to be very volatile between them. But then on the flip side, you have Baronary Teepers. Their level 3s can just 100-0 you in an instant. You get stunned by Ratatosker, you're probably dead. You get Thunder Crash by Raijin, you don't have your mobility up, you're probably dead. It will be level 2 for Baronary Teepers, not quite at that pace just yet. Kirmi instead will go over towards the mid camps on the right-hand side, clear those, and Benny Q will split it. So both of them will end up hitting level 2, and Teepers hits level 2 off those left side mid camps.
This is another problem area I think that's going to exist. Uller, just in general, is the problem area. If wherever he is on the map, extend to where the range of his abilities are, that's the problem area that you're going to have to deal with. It's just a lot to try and handle early on.
Oh, Tuba pushed out of his Bifrost, and Gamma's trying to body block. Good body blocks by the Kappa. Tuba has nowhere to go. Wowie and Gamma have locked him in place and shut him right down. First blood goes to the Winter Dogs, and that's the one mechanic of Smite you gotta remember exists, and you gotta remember how to abuse. Body blocks, OP.
Body blocks, no joke, might actually be some of the best, is that CC? I guess it's CC.
We're gonna call
in
it
the
CC.
game. We've seen so many good first bloods that have happened. Actually, this year, way too many that have happened that way, which is really impressive from Kuzenbo players. Gotta give them the credit for it's due. And that's just about as classy as you can get. Maybe your worst case scenario for the duo lane as well. Not only do they get first blood, but you get it onto the Hunter, and that Hunter happens to be Wowie, that Wowie happens to be playing Uller. I mean, it is maybe the worst case scenario you could have going early on. Also just unfortunate, because I think that secondary crystal got placed down, and Tuba just wanted to move even slightly. Just a foot would have been better. But that is good body blocks coming down from Gamma and Wowie to make sure they stay locked up.
Gamma slamming that horrific emblem too, just to guarantee he had just enough movement speed to get in front of him. I didn't really notice it there until that very last moment, but Gamma with the nice body blocks. And for those at home who want to know what you do when you successfully body block someone in place like that, you don't move. You notice neither of them moved after they got that body block. They stood their ground, stood in place, because there's nowhere the Tuba can go. He didn't have his Gallarhorn up. He didn't have the Bifrost available to him to really move anywhere. And they were able to stick it right to him and end up getting that kill.
And that's saying something. I am like a nervous Wazda. Like, I will just like tap and move in circles whether I'm doing something or not. It actually is very difficult for me to body block people because I can't hold still. I guess in real life and in game, because it translates very, very easily from one to the other. Too much nervous fidgeting energy. So far, it's just been clean from the Winter Dogs. I mean, this is like not necessarily picturesque. I expected a little more pizzazz, I guess, from their comp, but this is the kind of fighting you expect.
Oh, no, Tuba, don't get body blocked again. This time Promise is the one who almost body blocks him in place. This time he does have a Bifrost to drop under his feet, get himself out of there, but Tuba a little bit in danger here in this dual lane. A lot of aggression towards him, and not as much in mid as I would have expected. It's all been dual lane action so far, and Gamma is even going for a dive under the tier 1 tower that goes south entirely. Tuba turns that one around, and wow, he's probably just sitting there going, Gamma, really? Are you really? After all we just did, you're just gonna dive the tier 1 like that?
It's yeah, an unfortunate spill for him. But with the health bar, like Tuba is very lucky. Wowie doesn't have a lot of mana. If Wowie had just half his mana bar, then you have Tuba's death. It's very easy to be able to pick up. He's super low. Has to be worried about. Speaking of death,
BennyQ just erasing Teepers under his own tier 1 tower. No ultimate coming out of the Raijin there, even though he was level 5. So BennyQ gets a nice little advantage here in mid lane. The assassin gets his first kill on the board, putting down Teepers.
This is where things will get a little more maybe lopsided. I'm starting to expect a lot more from the Winter Dogs. Now you also have level 5 from Kirmi, so you get the Tsukiyomi a little more hands-on. And that's going to make things a little more engage-oriented is the way to... They're going to dive. They're going to try to kill you. They're going to jump in. And I'm interested to see how they're going to do that and whether or not they do want to get aggressive onto this red buff. I mean, I like the positioning from him. Kirmi's playing aggressively as well. Tuba actually might just get caught out here. It's either a purple buff or a kill. One thing's going to happen. They just have to decide where they want to go, or maybe neither. It seems like they're going to back off.
Something we've been seeing out of the Guan Yus that have popped up as of recent, and even maybe just a little more in general, meditation has been coming out every so often. Uzi needs it over on this right side. He's getting poked out by Aquarius, but he picks that up, pops that meditation, so he'll live on to see another day. But we've been seeing this meditation come out a little bit more often as of the changes that it had in that 8.9 update.
Yeah, and honestly, it's a nice change for it, but it is also one that makes me feel like it's a little more lopsided. Like, there's a lot of healing on just one character here. Like, if you can deal with Uzi, you deal with all of this. Granted, early on, this is going to just be helpful, as you had mentioned, for the lane, because it seems like he's not having the best time up against Aquarius. And later on, I mean, we've seen countless med plays over the last couple of weeks, mainly from PBM is the person that I think of the most, who's been able to get some really good saves.
Aquarius thrown back by Promise and stunned out. Nowhere to go. Tallow Assault plus the basics afterwards. Bayroneri able to claim a kill here for the Average Joes and putting himself finally on the board, along with Tuba, who got that kill over on the left-hand side of the map. The Average Joes, they're down just a little bit, about 700 gold. They're not out just yet. That amount of gold isn't really all that much in the early stages of the game. The experience widely the same. Really the only difference actually a little bit in their favor that they do have Bayroniri with a slight level lead, and even Gamma struggling to kind of keep up here with Promise in the levels. But we'll be Winter Dogs going up, picking up that Scorpion over by the Gold Fury pit.
I'm gonna be honest, J-Mac. This is a lot more tame than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, for a Week 10 Winter Dogs set, this does seem very calm.
Like so the draft in and of itself, they didn't goof around too much, which is fine by me. I don't necessarily, but I thought that there was going to be shenanigans is the term I want to use. Well, I guess Gamma's maybe giving us some of that.
Did he steal that?
Misses the sumo slam, and he did successfully take the green buff away. So you know what? He got something out of this, and now with Kirmi getting aggressive, look, this is where the fight could come through. They watch this red buff respawn. They could pick up a lot here.
Kirmi's already starting to chunk on the Tsukiyomi. Level 7, he'll drop the Caltrops immediately under the red buff, and a fight for it will be stolen away by Winter Dogs. Promise doesn't want to give up the fight just yet. He'll walk forward, but no ultimate available to the Cerberus. Instead, it'll be 3 members of the Joes walking over to try and secure their own purple buff, which gets stolen away by the Winter Dogs. So 3 buff invades and 3 buffs stolen by the Winter Dogs. Oddly enough, the green buff, one of the buffs that we don't really talk all that much about. It's kind of one of just those silent sit in the background buffs. You pick it up whenever you can. The fact that we're seeing an invade for not just that, but the other 2 buffs on that side of the map, Winter Dog is definitely playing a bit aggressive early on.
Yeah, it feels bad to be Bayroniri, although interestingly enough is that Bayroniri actually has a small experience lead. He was level 8 already when we just saw Kirmi take over to it, so he's been doing fine.
Gamma gets a good push. Bayroniri takes a lot of damage. Promise gets a solid ultimate, but it's the piercing moonlight from Kirmi that deals the final bit of damage necessary to kill the Ratatoskr. Another kill up for the Winter Dogs, and T-Pers is starting to feel just how much this Tsukiyomi can hurt, and BennyQ dives in aggressively, drops the Kingslayer ultimate and the Purification Beats to dive the tower. Promise not enough damage. Kirmi dives the tower too, and so does Gamma, but they won't be able to kill Promise just yet unless Promise decides to walk right up against both of them. A spawn and a skewer dropped by Benny, but not quite enough damage to kill Promise. He'll make it out safely under the tier 1 tower, but a heck of a dive coming out here from the Winter Dogs to pick up that kill on T-Pers.
Benny doesn't have the health, had the mana to go for the kill, and I was watching with bated breath to see if they'd go in. But they just clear the way. They play responsibly, and they back off. I mean, that's a good kill either way. I mean, not having to worry about Promise is just fine. Getting the support there is like icing on top, but not necessary, right? I mean, you get a kill onto the mid laner. Getting rid of T-Pers is like the main goal. And they do have a tier 2 tower. They get the ult for it as well. That's a very big pickup for the Winter Dogs to find a small advantage that is now, massed itself into a 2-level lead for BennyQ. And this is where things can get troublesome. Your junglers are equal. Yeah, Kirmi's, got maybe a little bit more engage right now than what we've seen. Bayroniri has a great ult, but with that 2-level lead, BennyQ is going to be able to be a lot more proactive and make these aggressive decisions that this Raigen's just not going to be able to do.
And look at the immediate response from T-Pers because of this heavy double assassin dive on him in this mid lane. He's immediately after his Divine Ruin, like to start going towards a breastplate for a little bit of physical defense. And, well, I don't blame him for it when you're fighting up against not just one assassin, but 2 of them. That it can be a lot of damage. And you throw Wowie, who hasn't even been a part of these mid lane fights just yet, with an Uller. Yeah, that's going to be a lot of physical damage coming your way. Wowie will have to leap out. Gamma eats a stun from Promise. Nice little paralyzing spiff, but Gamma gets a solid push against Promise. He'll get the ultimate against 3. Kirmi will use the Piercing Moonlight for the CC immunity and for the damage afterwards, taking him down. And a leap down from the tree from Bayroniri, looking for a stun, looking for the spin, but it's T-Pers who gets caught out. BennyQ picks up 1 and a second one, and Bayroniri has to retreat as he watches 3 members of his team fall to the Winter Dogs.
I mean, that's just a clean fight. Good engage from the average Joes, but it just didn't seem like they had the lockdown prepared where they wanted to. Kirmi manages to walk out with their life as well, so Bayroniri trying to lock them down and save the day wasn't successful. And they put so much into Gamma early on and then a little bit more into Kirmi afterward that BennyQ could just run forward. Nobody could really stop him. The Taiko drums didn't do enough to slow him down. Didn't even have to use his beads because he didn't have them. And so it opens up, again, a big door and window of opportunity for them on the left-hand side. No buffs to invade. There's the Gold Fury, but they were too low for it. But this is definitely starting to speak wonders of what the Winter Dogs are capable of.
Wonder if Kirmi was worried at all that Draugr knockback might have killed him. He got very low after that hit. He was probably sitting there going, are you going to clear that thing a little bit quicker for me next time, Wowie? Well, maybe he also shouldn't be trying to back inside of the pit for it.
Nah, all calculated. He knew it.
For all intents and purposes, Kirmi doing just fine here. BennyQ actually level 12, highest level in the game on the map right now. And about a 3,000 gold lead in favor of the Winter Dogs. So BennyQ with 4 kills. Wow, I didn't even realize he was up to 4 kills this early on in the matchup. You see the experience difference, 4,300, 2,800 gold. in the way of the Winter Dogs, and they can start looking over towards this Gold Fury. Promise is here, but so is Bayroneri. Maybe that might be enough for the Joes to at least kind of hold them back, or maybe not. Maybe that's just the W key for Kieran, but he'll go in with the piercing Moonlight and land right next to Bayroneri, and the stun is more than enough damage to take him down. Tuba has to use the ultimate just to get away. It's a quick kill for the Winter Dogs.
Yeah, and Tuba lives there primarily because that Tier 2 exists and it's 11 minutes into the game. They're not going to dive that deep yet overall.
Yet.
Yeah, the Winter Dogs, that's a good opening kill. You get rid of Bayroneri. He's the one that's most likely to be able to disrupt this Gold Fury, especially from afar. And they go straight back, use this lead, and further it even further by picking up that Gold Fury, making things feel really solid for them. The thing that's kind of surprised me, and I don't know that it's going to make a big difference, but Promise, I was expecting to go into a Sovereignty second just because most of the main damage you're going to be taking from Winter Dogs is physical with 2 Assassins and the Uller. I mean, Cthulhu and Kuzenbo are annoying, but you know they're not going to be building as heavy-handed into that. And so it's a little surprising to see that skipped over, at least early on, when it might be beneficial for a lot of these early game fights, especially, you know, stacking onto the prots for Teepers.
Bayroneri ults in. Wow, able to jump over it, and Kieran will return fire almost instantly. No mana for the Assassin, but he doesn't need it. He's got Wowie as backup, and that'll put Tuba in the dirt one more time. 9-2 for the kills of the Winter Dogs, and maybe add another one. Put that 10 up. Gamma credited for the kill under the mid lane Tier 1 tower, and Winter Dogs now with a nearly 6,000 gold lead. If that Tier 1 tower does fall, that can kind of round that up to a nice even 6.
Yeah, so when you are the team that goes for an engage, especially when you're going up against a jungler with barely any mana and you know, Uller who's mana intensive, and yet you lose that gank, that's a sign that things are getting out of hand really fast.
Uzzy might need a little bit of help on this right side of the map. He'll get a decent heal, but Kirmi is back with full health, full mana, and has more than enough spells to take him down. Another kill for the Winter Dogs puts them up 11-2, and the Pyromancer that was started by the Joes just a minute ago has now been leashed by them earlier, and the Winter Dogs instead will be the ones to pick that up. Mid-camps, Gamma will start up, and I don't think Gamma's too worried if he wins them or loses them. Promise does get the credit, so he'll get a little bit of XP, but they're going to need all the XP they can get, especially with this mid-level difference here. Level 15 at a Benny-Q. Level 11 at a Teepers. Not so much fun in the mid lane, and Bayroneri, I don't think you want to try and take that fight, buddy.
Yeah, you've got a 2-level lead in the duo lane as well. Kirmi, honestly, this is not maybe a fight you want to take, even if Aquarius is low.
Aquarius doesn't have ultimate. Bayroneri does. He's going to jump up on the tree, and the damage should be enough to kill him, but he misses the juke down. Kirmi will be able to at least trade out, make it a 1-for-1, but probably not the 1-for-1 that you need. Could get the second one here. Promise jumps over the stun. Benny Q picks up Teepers in the mid lane, and Kirmi gets a kill on Promise. That's going to be a 3-for-1 swing for the Winter Dogs. 14 kills up, nearly 8,000 gold already here at the not even 14-minute mark, and now at that Tier 1 tower in mid lane going down. That will round that up to the 8,000 gold.
Gamma needs to reset that, but no, actually holding. I actually like this a lot. You're going to get a lot of damage for free onto this Tier 2. In fact, I think you get the Tier 2 in mid. And a 14-minute Tier 2, that is a lot of gold to just have an influx to your team, right? I mean, it's, what, 300 per player, maybe not a massive swing. But realistically, with the lead they already have, that is really starting to stack on top of it, and that is a good showcase of how much you have, I guess, to flex around with.
Well, we get to take a look at the kill that Benny Q and Gamma got on Teepers. And Teepers, I mean, he was just low. It's a quick teleport over the wall by Benny Q and makes it nice and easy there for them to get that kill in mid. And wow.
Uzzy, what were you doing back there?
Uzzy's dead now. And just as soon as we come out of replay, we have another kill. I mean, this is more what we kind of expected, maybe just a little bit earlier on from the Winter Dogs. I say early on, I mean, we're not even 15 minutes in the game, and they've already amassed themselves a 10,000 gold lead, and it's only going to get worse from there. There's still 3,000 gold worth of towers standing on the map, and, well, plenty of players they can go for, too.
And you know what? This is where I'm going to talk about how the front line's important. Because the front line on Winter Dogs is the only players that have died. But the reason that is, actually, it has nothing to do with them. There's been no team fights. It's just, look, okay. I'm sorry, Aquarius, look, you got bullied a little bit in lane, and some bad scenarios led to your deaths. Gamma, you straight up dove way too deep earlier on.
That was his only death, too.
Yeah, that's on you. So they're important. And I imagine they're going to continue that importance into it. But right now, without having well, actually, in some of these fights, we've seen them, proactively peel for the carries. But without having to worry too much about it, you're still getting tons of damage from Kirmi and Benny-Q. I mean, Kirmi's at 12k damage. He's 5k up the next highest. He's got 6k on anybody on Average Joe's.
Yeah, Promise. The call was definitely not to walk any further forward. See, normally you would take, the middle of the map right there. That's like your cutoff point when you're behind. Like, you don't walk further than there. But when you're this far down, I think that tier 2 tower line is probably the farthest that you want to walk, especially if you know someone like Gamma is even remotely sticking around. You got to imagine somebody's going to be right behind him.
A good metric for how scared you should be of engaging on anybody, especially by yourself, is how many people on your team are at the same or lower level than the other team's support. Until just now, Uzi just ticked to 15. You had 3 14s, the level 12 for Promise, so 2 levels down there, but Tuba as well, a level behind where Gamma is. And so a lot of pressure coming just from Gamma, trying to kill him, trying to isolate him. You're going to need 3 to 4 people to do it.
Okay, forget about a back camp bandit. I'm curious if can Benny get it before level 7 or before minute 17? Can Benny-Q hit level 20? That's the important one I'm looking for here. 13,000 gold, nearly 17,000 experience, and he does 1653. Wowzers. He hits level 20.
That's actually nuts.
I wonder if that's the fastest level 20 that we've seen in a competitive game. I'm not sure. I don't know if you can actually pull that one.
I could definitely ask Zayden. I can imagine how many hours something like that would take to pull, because you'd probably have to parse all of the combat logs.
Yeah, that's going to take quite a long time.
That would take days.
Yeah, Uzi not having a fun time here, getting bullied out by this. Benny-Q, actually, as soon as he hits level 20, he'll finally get a nice little shutdown. So there's your there's your backliner gone, which I can't really call him a backliner because he's been diving like a frontliner pretty much the entirety of this game. Aquarius will turn his sights back towards Bay Ranieri. Promises here. Gamma has made his way in. Now it's the frontliners going for their kills. Gamma will use the Watery Grave, and that's enough. And yeah, that might even be enough to almost kill Promise by himself. Aquarius dives in. Gamma tanking up the tower, push him against the wall, and it'll be the Pridwin shield that explodes to get the kill there for Gamma. So his third one on the board, and Aquarius will finally get his first one.
Yeah, this is just Winter Dogs playing. Look, there's a certain point, and I don't know when it happened. That's not true. It was
about 8 minutes.
I would argue when the tier 2 and mid went down 14 minutes in, that this game became almost unwinnable for the Average Joes. Is it unwinnable? No. But is it going to be the hardest, I would guess, next 20 minutes of their lives? Yes. Is it worth that amount of effort? That's up to them as of right now. Average Joes are in a spot where you've got 2 exposed Phoenixes. There hasn't been a single Fire Giant taken. You're 18 minutes in, so this is a good spot for the Winter Dogs to start looking towards that big objective. And you haven't knocked down a single tower on the other side. Winning one fight isn't enough for you. You have to win a fight, defend your base, and start knocking down objectives. Ideally, that means getting a Fire Giant. A lot of those seem like a pretty far throw, considering you're still 5 levels down in mid, 5 levels down in the jungle. And right now, what is that, 3 levels for both the dual lanes? So not a comfortable spot to try and be fighting back from, especially when all the neutral objectives are very easily going in favor of Winter Dogs. They've got a good comp for diving you and dealing with everybody in the backline. Hey, Winter Dogs are first seed, though. How about that? There's something that's just a fact. They're good at Smite. Look at this.
I mean these guys are going to playoffs. They will be in the first seed, and
I wouldn't want to play them. If I'm being honest, they're good at Smite.
Yeah, this is a pretty solid team. So far, Sleekness one of the only teams that have been able to take a set off of them. Not just a set, but a 2-0. Sleekness might be a team to kind of look at as we start getting towards these phase 2 playoffs for these guys, because they've been able to take games off of both, or full sets, 2-0s off of both Herculean Hooves and Winter Dogs. And then they fell to Sturdy Arsenals yesterday 2-1, but not the end of the world. All it did was, are they going to be 3rd seed or 4th seed? Unfortunately for Sleekness, they do have to go up against the SOC in a wild card match before they can make their way potentially towards playoffs. But Aquarius over here on this left side, Kirmi over here on the right side gets a kill on Bay Ranieri. Kills go up 22-4, 15,000 gold, and it's not going to get much better from here for Average Joes.
So we have seen competitively like 3-person Fire Giants where they're the only ones taking it aren't outlandish. 2-person Fire Giants aren't outlandish, although they usually take a little bit, and that did take some time. But I don't know that I've ever seen all 5 members alive and only 2 on the Fire Giant. You have 1 chasing a kill at a tier 2 and right, and 2 chasing a kill on left. Like, the fact that they have such a massive amount of control there is Well, that's just what it is, man. I don't know. Like that game just got out of hand really fast, and Winter Dogs look good because of it.
Yeah, Winter Dogs able to come out with a win here, a little surrender at the very end. Kind of, it's one of those ones you don't fault them for it at all. I mean, you're 15,000 plus gold behind. I don't even know how many kills at that point behind they were, and I don't think a single person was even
like 3 minutes
really
from the real end of the game
really
anyway,
all that
let's
close.
Be honest.
Yeah, I mean, all it takes is one more fight.
It was gonna be over.
Yeah,
just a little bit, so it's fine.
Yeah, it was definitely going to end there. Winter Dogs come up with a victory in game number 1. We'll take it to a break and get ready to get set up for game 2. Welcome back to the Smite Challenger Circuit, and just as a nice little highlight from the video there, the hi-rez showcase available to you guys. January 6th through 9th is when we'll have all that big time coming here. You can see some of the top teams and some potential to see even some of these teams potentially make it there to that showcase. There'll be all kinds of things there, not just the actual World Champions themselves, but there will be all kinds of things like hi-rez Presents. There'll be some panels and some Q&A, all kinds of fun. So make sure you tune in January 6th through 9th during all of that fun time to guys get you ready for there. Let's get you guys ready for game number 2, because game number 1, Gore, I don't think there's a whole lot to analyze there aside from, well, I think you put it perfectly at the end of game number 1 there. The Winter Dogs are just good.
Yeah, they played good smite, man. That's that's game 1. I said this in the break. This feels toxic to say, but I'm going to say it out loud because this was one where we had mentioned it, standings can't change too much. And after watching that, the standings kind of back this up no matter what. But the Winter Dogs are just better. In that game, that's what we got. We didn't get to see a really competitive average Joes. We didn't get to see too much out of them early on. They were able to kind of keep the kills close. I think at one point it was 2-2, 3-3. But then things, here, see right here, 2-2. And so things were close for a little bit. And then they just got out of hand. 2 assassins were just able to control them. Baron Area and Teepers didn't get to have much of a time at all because they were constantly getting sat on by the assassins. And so they really did just get controlled the old-fashioned way. And you got a couple of kills, but all of your kills, I think 2 onto Aquarius, you got 1 onto Gamma. Gamma's was while he was diving a tier 1 tower at like 2 minutes into the game, so you can, throw that one under Gamma more giving you a kill than you earning the kill, things like that. And so realistically, they just played really well. Kirmi goes 10-0-4, looks really good. 5-1-5 for BennyQ. Just all sorts of thumbs up. WoWie had a lot of damage in the duo lane, and they didn't get to do too much because the game ended in 20 minutes.
Yeah, it was just a fast game, a fast-paced game. It started out very slow. I mean, you saw there almost 8 minutes in, it was only 2-2. And then the last 12 minutes of that game was just nothing but a bloodbath, at least for the Winter Dogs.
Yeah.
Bloodbathing the average shows. We'll see if things can change up here in game number 2. Again, this set doesn't hold any real weight to the standings, so maybe we'll see them kind of dial back just a little bit. Let's see what happens here in Picks and Bans game number 2 for these two teams. Average Joes maybe just want a little bit of redemption, maybe try and get something that they can get some nice and early kills on, but Winter Dogs, I don't think they're just going to let that happen.
It's time for the Goobus. They win game 1.
You know what? That is true.
That
is true.
It is the only thing. It is the one eternal truth of the Winter Dogs.
Win game 1.
Win game 1. Play Anubis game 2.
Now,
usually win game 2 as well, but that's
usually.
That one, like, I don't know the metrics for how often that has happened, but enough that I know it is usually the case.
If the Joes are smart, they ban it here. They make sure to take it away so that way they can't. And then they have a better shot.
That'd actually be kind of funny.
That
would actually be really, really funny if they banned.
I don't know if anybody else outside of just like our group.
Only BennyQ plays.
He's the only one, and he only does it in game 2s. They won't ban it. It'll be Uller, Sylvanas, and Ares, and an Artio Cthulhu on the other side for the Winter Dogs. Just going with somewhat standard bans across the board, mostly just Guardians, throw an Odin in there, so there's their solo lane ban. So you got solo lane with a couple of them. Actually, solo lane entirely for the Winter Dogs. That's a very heavy solo lane. I don't want to play against that coming out of Winter Dogs. They just ban everything out that's kind of top right now in solo lane.
Yeah, and honestly, I like all of those bans because realistically, I don't want to play against any of those either. Cthulhu, in the right hands, Cthulhu does so much for a team fight. Same thing could be said for Artia. Same thing could be said for Odin. They just control so much. It also is worth mentioning because like Persephone was banned last time, and a couple of things like that are changed. Tiamat's available, things like that, and so it opens up this conversation of like, okay, what do you favor? Do you want the rest of these top meta picks? They first lock in a Ratatoskr here, and I'm not going to say it had no impact. I actually think Baron Area got to do the most on their team last game, but it definitely needs to pick up way more slack than it did in order to make sure it's worthwhile, especially for a first pick.
Ratatoskr first as your highlight, and then Geb set on the other side. The fact that Geb made it through, and then Baron Samedi.
I love me some Baron.
I'm in the same boat as you, Gore. Like, Baron Samedi, yeah, he may not be, like, the best god in the game, but he might be one of the most fun gods in the game to play between the Coffin, and I'm just going to say it outright. He has the best jump animation of every god in the game.
Yes.
Not even close.
But only when you've attacked.
No, he does. Does he only
when he does like the twirl?
Does he only do the twirl after
he does that in combat?
Okay, so it's in combat jump.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he still has a solid jump.
He still has a solid jump, but his in combat.
I would say the next closest is probably Bakasura's backflips. Like when you're walking and doing the backflip in the combat.
Yeah.
That might be number 2. There's the one that we're looking for though, the Anubis as a third pick here for the Winter Dogs. Maybe they're picking it here because they think the Joes would ban it. Psych, they're not picking it. It's actually Kabrakan, Set, and Geb for the Winter Dogs.
This
Baron
is going to be Benny sad again. He's going to ruin the streak.
He really is going to ruin the streak here. But we talked a lot about Baron. We didn't even talk about one of your favorite gods out here getting picked in, Hobwa.
Yeah, I was actually, look, I was going to say something really mean, which is I love Hobwa. Like, Hobwa is the reason I started playing Smite. It was the first god that I played. First skin that I bought was Hebrew and like things like that.
That's a good one.
That is also the first microtransaction I made in any game. I remember that because I spent a lot of money since then.
I'm trying to think what my
on Smite and other games. It's a problem.
I think Raw America was my first one.
Raw America's a good one.
I think that was the first one that I actually said, you know what? Here's some of my money. I want that skin. Like that is still to this day, I think the only Raw skin that I use outside of maybe Doodle Raw.
Ooh, Doodle Raw's real good.
That's another good one. Alienware Raw.
Only during the SPL though.
But only during SPL. Only in a competitive set do you play Alienware Raw. You're kind of I feel like they should be obligated to have to play it if they do play Raw at SPL, just because, you know, it is our sponsor, but we don't see Raw very often, so we don't get to see it. But the times that we have seen
I'm trying to think of what skin they use, because normally, like, the pros all have, like, a skin. They all have a preference.
I think I have been seeing more Alienware Raw, though, as of recent. I want to say...
Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me, because it's one that's, like...
It's classic.
Classic, but, like... It doesn't augment the abilities in any like strange way where like all of it. Well, first off, not comp banned, so like it doesn't augment them in a negative way. But also, it doesn't have anything where it's like, oh well, this is just slightly quieter or anything like. It's just another good skin, dude.
Yeah, it's just there. It's just a good skin.
I like this comp.
This is
let's run it down, Joes.
This is kind of what we expected a little bit more of. Joe's going for this more run it down style. Winner. All right, you've got to pick the Anubis here. You cannot break the streak, Benny Q. You cannot break the streak, but with the other 4 locked in.
He's breaking the streak.
I feel like he is, man. Unless it's Geb support, Gabrakan solo, set jungle, the Chiron over an ADC, and then we can still see the Anubis. There is still hope for there to be an Anubis. See? There's still hope, Gormizer. Don't give up on Benny.
There's always hope.
Don't give up on Benny Q just yet. But maybe it is just Anubis, and nothing else is actually going where I thought it was. Don't hover the chalk. What are you doing hovering chalk?
What if they... No, they can't.
They did.
What if they did something where they locked in 5 Anubises? This is...
That would be fun. That would actually be fun.
I think I've done that in a match of the day.
It's always fun.
It's toxic.
Just don't.
That's what it is.
Don't cross the beams, though.
No, always cross the beams.
On one person. You get all 5, and you make it like a pentagram.
You do a chain stun on one dude, and then all ult.
Just like one of them, wrap ult, and as soon as the other one, wrap ult, and you just get a whole little chain reaction for it.
Now you're thinking with Goobus.
Now I am thinking with Goobus, although I could be thinking with Portals, but there is no Giannis locked in for this game. Instead, it's a Baron, Hobwa, Scotty, Thor, Ratatosker from the Average Joes, Winter Dogs. I'm going to call it a little bit more traditional of a comp, but let's see if it's traditional placements for all these gods we hop in to the game. No, it's Geb solo this time around. Benny Q. Okay, that's... The Geb solo, that's whatever. Benny Q, Cabrakan mid. That's not Anubis. It's something. Hey, hold on. Another thing though. More importantly, Billy's on this one for us. Hey, Billy on the observer. Let's go. I'm being told he was on the first one. That's my mistake. Look, this laptop that I have on the desk kind of covers everything up here.
Look, I don't read, okay? All right? I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Look, I'm just going to... Here's my little insight to those at home. The nice little Alienware laptop that we have here, it blocks that corner of the screen for me on the monitor. So if you ever see me kind of doing like one of these motions, it's because I can't see the band.
Here's what I'll say, though. Chair 1, that's the least important corner for the most part.
I didn't even look at the bands.
Well, okay, during picks and bans, but I mean, like, casting, like, that's the least important
for casting,
corner.
I'm not going to see
This one's got the mini-map, that one's got the damage, this one's got the sponsors.
These ones have everything
That
else.
one's got FG timer. And that's it.
That's an important one to have up there, actually, during
sometimes.
later
there's
half
a
of the
circle
game.
on the other side of the map. You can estimate it.
You know what, I guess
10-minute timer sliced into 8s.
A little bit of a pause in the game. We are jumping right back in,
what
though,
is
here.
10 divided
Game
by
number
8?
2.
That's like
10 divided
2?
1.25? Yeah, 1.25. Quick math.
Quick maths.
Don't do much math on cast. That's rule number 1. I
So you know
I don't know why I tried to do it there, but hey, I think I was successful.
Every eighth of the fire giant circle is 1 minute and 15 seconds.
That's a good one to know. That's a good one to know for all of you there at home. So if you ever need to know that timer, now you have it. Thank you, Gormizer, for bringing us the information for there.
I was supposed to say something, though. They can't see me, as it turns out. Yeah, I'm making a face.
No, the camera's gone now. The camera's gone.
I meant what I said earlier. I'm
Wait, this is a Thor mid. So this is Thor mid versus Cabrakan mid. I skipped over the other side because it's just like, wherever they decide to go, they go.
Actually, what's really funny about this is Hebo jungle,
right?
Baron solo, and Rat support have been seen competitively across the years. So this isn't actually that outlandish of a draft.
Really, the only things that are sticking out, kind of the sore thumb here is the Thor, obviously, out of Teepers in mid.
Yep.
The Kabrak in mid.
Chalk.
And
support.
the Chalk support.
Hold on. I'm going to say
Hold on.
Geb solo sticks out. It's just because Divios was successful on it. And I guess Mando Warriors probably played it. That it's okay.
Didn't Deathwalker also play a little bit of it? I know he had.
I'd give him credit. Deathwalker's played a lot.
He had the Ares. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he had the Geb. I remember.
I'll give him the credit.
Geb Walker. Geb Walker, Ares Walker, and then he had Bologna and Osiris. And especially like the Bologna was like.
God, Deathwalker's Bologna was really fun to watch.
That guy literally just brought that god back in the meta. Like nobody was talking about Bologna, and then Deathwalker's like, hey, this god's kind of sick. I'm gonna play and just destroy everybody. Now he's playing Mulan.
What if we just had a Smite podcast? Well, they have that. It's called Prediction Podcast. It's hosted by Aggro and Barra. I guess that does the.
Yeah, the backliners?
That feels backliners? Yeah, it's on Prediction. There we go. I remembered it.
Let's say Prediction Podcast. I don't remember.
No, that's
I was trying to think of who the name of that was.
That's how you type it on Twitch to get there.
There you go.
Sundays at 8.
After SPL.
Or Mondays if Aggro takes another weekend off.
Yeah, he's not here this weekend. He's not here this weekend.
Nah, he's
out. It's just us.
He's out
and Mifflin and Dave out here bringing action. Kirmi, first blood against Uzi. Where did that even happen? Solo lane. Okay, they're just staring at each other. They're just gazing menacingly. Gemma's dead.
Hey, this is your part. Make it. Come on.
Gemma's dead. It's a rotation over. Bayerniri, he's able to pick up a return kill here for the average Joes. At least keep them at a similar level of parity. So first blood gives you the nice bounty for the winner dogs. Average Joes at least tied up here, 2.5 min.
Look, I'll goof around. I'm at least gonna give them a team fight, so that's what matters. Teepers, oh no, Teepers.
Oh no, Teepers might want to run.
That's a good hammer. Hey, that's one thing. Look, Thor's got something going for him that actually a lot of mages don't. He can stun you and get away. I guess Scylla can root you and get away. There's like not as much disengage, but realistically, you got to be worried about Kirmi here. You had to be worried about Kirmi last game for good reason. And this time they're on set, which we just got to see Benny Hugh have a really, really stellar game on. I just think this is going to be one, especially when you're playing a mage. I think this team's really squishy. This is a really easy opportunity across the map for Kirmi.
Benny stunned out. Slowed. He'll just decide, well, if I can't run away, I might as well try and fight back at least. But it's Teepers who puts him down and gets a nice little return kill. Finally, Teepers probably getting a little bit of redemption after game 1.
All right, 3 minutes in.
Okay.
Kill count for this game is going to be 55.
55.
That's what I'm. That's
You're
going to
go that low.
Yeah.
I'm going to say 70. We're on good track to at least get a minute here. Another kill on the board. Make that 2 kills on the board. 5 kills, 3.5 minutes. Yeah, I'm going to go 70. We had like a 70... I think it was a 74 kill game yesterday. Was our second game in the EU.
Wait, was it really 74?
It was like 70. It was like 74. Echrome had 20 kills by himself.
Yeah, you're right. That was kind of nuts.
That's why.
And it was on his Heimdall. Look,
yeah, it was
Heimdall was sick.
Yeah, I mean, he told you specifically it was sick, and then he proved it multiple times whenever he does.
Yeah,
that's
that god. I remember the first game I cast was like, I don't know why you banned Heimdall here, and then Echrome just messaged me after that, and he's like, hey, yeah, no, my it's against me. That's right.
Teepers goes down. Kirmi, with the help of Benny
Q,
kills, puts him out, and well, Bayerniri, or not Bayerniri. I was thinking it was Bayerniri because of Ratatosker, but no, it was Promise who dashes into the mid lane. Attempted tier 1 tower here, less than 5 minutes in. What are we playing? Is this like release soul time when like tower kill? Well, that'd be 2 minutes, not 5 minutes.
Yeah, she was aggressive. No, I was actually. I'm gonna keep track of it. This is worth noting, just depending on how fast either of these teams. I doubt we're gonna see it because they're getting a lot of kills back and back for each other. But I think the fastest. I have it written down. I should look at it. The fastest non-surrender, which has to be the unfortunate caveat because that 2-minute game is 16.5 minutes.
Ooh, double ultimate under the tier 1 tower. Bayerniri and Promise team up, get a kill against Benny Q. So Benny Q, who got to go on a bit of a tirade in game number 1, almost undying, ended up like 5-1. They're gonna put a little bit back to this Kabrak and make him kind of punish him a little bit for this pick.
Yeah, this is because you weren't playing Goobus.
It is.
Yes,
if you were playing Goobus, you would have killed them.
Yeah, I was gonna say he'd be dead at least 2 more times.
No, he would have killed them. He's got Death Gaze. And at least a decent amount of lifesteal. Doesn't have a Bancroft talent just yet, but hey, you're Anubis. Get lifesteal and you kill.
Yeah, he hasn't had lifesteal yet, though. That's 5 minutes of free kill Anubis.
He's got a little bit. Not a lot, but he's got a little bit.
I see Anubis. If I'm a jungler, I kill Anubis.
I mean, you should.
Yeah.
That's what everybody should be doing. You see an Anubis in the game, no matter where they are, and you should be sending your jungler at bare minimum to be killing him on cooldown. But we don't see an Anubis this game. BennyQ broke the streak, and I'm really upset about that. I think that's the most upsetting thing about this whole set, is that BennyQ broke the streak of...
What if this goes 3 because BennyQ plays Cabrakan? What if, like, BennyQ strictly loses this game for his team somehow? I don't know how. I'm trying to envision how it could happen, and I can't. I don't know what scenario it would all rely on him, but what if that's what happens?
Don't curse us like
And
that.
it's like a moment where it's like,
Don't
man,
curse
if
them
you
like
were
that.
Anubis, it'd be fine.
Don't curse them like that. Gamma, he gets the silence and the ultimate out of the chalk, but Tuba at least able to turn around and get one. Maybe a second
some,
one. Is the
Tuba.
tower enough to... Wowie tried! Wowie tried
tried.
so hard to block Kirmi in the tower, but he was not able to do so. BennyQ turns around to get the 2v1 kill up against Teepers. Might be able to turn around and get another kill. His blink is up. He just needs to stun. Instead, he'll go for the tremors. A little bit of lifesteal keeps him in. Double kill for BennyQ in the mid lane. After being punished so much, he gets a little bit of a fight back.
That's a little bit of that Bancross Talon passive fighting for him. Look, I did not think I was going to be an adept analyst for Bancrofts on Cabrakan, but I've seen that
Too many
lot
times
this year in the SCC and a lot in the last 5 weeks in the SCC. And it's like the patented combo. You do a little bit more damage, you get that lifesteal, and it feels like it is going to be a very, very potent combo here. Plus, I mean, look, if you don't have trimmers there, your cooldowns on your 1 and 2 are going to be up. You're just going to 1-2 punch.
Run. No, the other way, Baron. I was going to say run, but run the other way. Don't ult in that against them.
Do it, Promise.
He'll dive in. Maybe try and make something happen. Teepers dives in with his own ult, so both semi-globals dropped in from the Assassins, but Promise is the one losing the trade here. He'll fall down. Wow, he credited him. Teepers falls to the hands of BennyQ. 10 kills up for the Winter Dogs. You're already at 15. You want to revise that 50? What was that, 53 you were guessing?
I said 55,
55,
baby, and I'm sticking to it.
Well, we're already...
Kirmi's 5-0-2. Kirmi's doing good work on this set.
Yeah, he's half the kills for the Winter Dogs. At one point, and this was literally just like 2 minutes ago, he was all the kills at like 4-0. But now it's now it's teams
and
up 10-5.
And then the duo lane had to go and do duo lane stuff.
Yeah, like
like try to body block each other into the tier 1 tower to get the kill.
Tuba might be able to return fire here. Does indeed. So all this commit against Tuba has just made him more powerful. Damage not going to be enough. Baroneri is here, might try and turn it around, but he doesn't have ultimate. So Wowie, he'll be able to use that giddy up of Baroneri. He can close in the gap, has the blink, has the water hands, and the water spout right after Baroneri. Put himself on the board yet again, but Uzi, well, just like First Blood, a quick rotation over will spell doom for the Baron Somni, and such as the downside of being a mage solo up against, well, literally anything with CC.
4-0 has not
had fun.
much over in the duo lane. Has gone for a sovereignty really quick as well, trying to get some prots online. Just trying to stay alive. Hebo's gone for the Doom Orb. I actually like that. The damage from Hebo early on with the Doom Orb can be pretty substantial, but not enough yet. Glass Cannon is the typical term, and I expect we're going to see that. Baroneri is going to kill people.
Benny missed. He missed the stun immediately after, and that's an easy punish there. Baroneri turns it around. Kirmi fighting against 2. Promise trying
Kirmi, you're huge. You
to
can't
get the
die.
damage, but Kirmi uses level 10. Blinking from Promise. He wants to get that kill. Teepers will find Gamma. Teepers does have ultimate. He might use it to try and go for Kirmi. Aquarius able to pick up Promise. Aquarius now in the middle of all of them. Uzi has rotated in. A nice little root and a body block means that Aquarius' cutoff path is gone. The coffin pulls him right back in. The shield holds him out, but not for much longer. Teepers with the double tap with no setup necessary will pick up the kill.
Look, that's a great 3-swing. You trade Promise to get Benny, Gamma, and Aquarius. That is a good pickup for the average Joes. And this is keeping things a lot more interesting. We had called it, around the 8-minute mark? I think it was in Game 1 where things really started to slowly skew towards Winter Dogs, and then within the next 6 minutes, it was heavily skewed towards Winter Dogs, and then 12 minutes later, it was done. So this is a much better pace for the average Joes to keep things somewhat favorable for them. But Kirmi got out of there, and that's what matters the most to me, because Kirmi is a huge target right now. I think has a level lead, the experience lead, well, not by too much in the jungle, actually on par in terms of level. But he's 6-0, which means that he should have a pretty good gold bounty on him.
They probably just need to stop going for Tuba, honestly. The last couple of times they've made a gank at Tuba, he's been able to at least turn around and get 1 kill. That time he got a kill and lived, compared to getting a kill and then, well, dying, almost getting 2 because of body blocks from Wowie against Kirmi. Gamma rotating back over, and maybe Gamma probably shouldn't go for this dive against Tuba. He's dove tier 2 or tier 1 tower twice now, has died both times because of it. And it's allowed Tuba to really stay in this game, level 10 versus the level 10 of WoW. So experience, very close to this game. Gold, very close, only 1,000 separating these two here at 10.5 minutes. Now, Teepers, he'll get caught out in the jungle here by BennyQ. Good stuns. A wall comes out. The tremors are good, and Kiermi puts him down with the skewer. He'll continue to chase in. Bayraniri does have ultimate. He can catch out Kiermi, or maybe just at least set up for Promise to get the kill against Kiri. Right off the tree, he'll jump down, and nice kill. Tuba gets body blocked out. Centaurus from Wowie hits the third shot, but Bayraniri is here to try and turn that one around. Wowie's so low. Promise needs one hit against him, and he'll take him down. But it's a 2-for-2 trade as Teepers and Tuba both fall down. Bayraniri looking back at Gamma and Benny. He's got Promise by his side, but can they kill this Jock?
I just realized that Gamma has built into the Jotuns and is going for what I'm going to guess is a Transcendence here soon. It's very easy to burn through a Chalk that has this kind of build, and you saw it right there. Now getting aggressive.
Stunned.
This might be, delayed? Maybe a delay. No, not quite delayed Deicide because they didn't get Geb over on
Yeah,
the
they never got Aquarius.
They got 4 of them, though. That feels pretty good if you are the average Joes.
Pretty close. 14-14. Now,
28.
last game at 8.
I'm sticking to my 55, but I'm starting to feel nervous.
Right. So, like, last game at 8 minutes or just shy of 8 minutes, it was like 2-2 or like 3-3. We're now, what, 4 minutes further in this game for game number 2, and it's 14-14.
Yeah.
7 times the kills for both of these teams just a few minutes later compared to game number 1. I don't even think Average Joe's got.
I'm gonna call you out. Slightly less than 4 times the kills because 1 was 4.
I thought I said 7.
Yeah, 7 times I guess for each individual team.
Yeah, 7 times each one.
Yeah, I think you said it was 2-2.
Well,
now it's 14-14. Oh wait,
right,
no,
that still works
28.
out.
Never mind. Yeah, you're right. I'm dumb.
Give me that math, baby. Give me that quick math, baby.
I did the same thing I was assuming you did, but then I did it on different numbers. It's whatever.
Transcendence.
I have a computer science degree, all right?
You have calculators for all that.
I did math.
You're done with your days of
I've
math.
programmed things to be smarter than me.
If that isn't the life of a computer science major, I don't know what is. I'm glad somebody
They
goes
do
out
math good.
I know. I'm glad that there are things out there to make us feel a little bit smarter out there. I'm glad that there is technology out there that can be smarter than us, because sometimes we just need it. Sometimes.
Fun fact.
Okay.
Your cell phone.
Right.
Chat, you got to listen real closely. This was what I was given on the orientation and this was in 2012. Your cell phone is more powerful than the first rocket that we sent into space. It is more powerful than the rocket that put someone on the moon in terms of computing power. And you carry it in your pocket.
So what you're saying is I can go to the moon with my cell phone.
Probably.
At least maybe theoretically we can go to the moon. We
Hey,
can get
look,
some nice pictures of
with
space.
a will and a way, do it. Yeah, buy Doge. To the moon.
Yeah, to the moon. Well, Tuba, he's been
Is that
having
still a thing? I haven't
I
heard
don't
anything
know.
about crypto in a while.
I don't actually even know if that's a thing.
Instead,
anymore.
people are throwing out a bunch of other acronyms that I'm just too lazy to learn about right now.
I'm not even gonna. You know what? I'm not even gonna go down that path. Let's get right back in the game here. Gamma blinks in, gets a nice little bit of damage against Bayraniri, forces the ultimate out of him. Promise doesn't have many cutoff points, though it does have an ultimate, so he'll use that and get out. Bayraniri gets a nice knock up against Kiermi. They need to get the shutdown on the jungler if they can. Kiermi is alive, not much longer. Bayraniri turns it around and gets him. But Promise caught out by the wall of BennyQ, and the Tremors hold him and lock him down. But Teepers with a nice dunk right in the middle of 4 of them. Uzzy rotates over. Who's going to grab with the coffin? Well, Teepers, he's going to need a little bit of help there. Uzzy didn't pull anybody in time, and now Teepers is... Oh, our Uzzy is stuck in the middle of all 4 of them. Stuck in, so... This is worse than even between a rock and a hard place, because there was an actual literal rock wall there and then 4 players of the Winter Dogs to trap him.
Yeah, that is not the position you want to
fun.
be in. Average Joe's unfortunately getting run over for that fight. I'm surprised to see this not just be a straight line to the gold fear. Well, for Wowie it is. Everybody else is going to pick up a red buff. Tuba manages to survive that engagement, which is maybe the biggest deal.
He can't solo.
And you know what, Tuba? Get aggressive. Get in there. Steal this gold fury. I believe in you.
Wowie will be the one to start up. He's very low. Tuba can get something here. He doesn't have ultimate, but he can maybe at least go for a kill. Well, Ice Carpet out there will make sure that at least pushes them away from it. Aquarius,
yeah, that's
right, charge
Tuba,
up that roll. Yeah, just walk away from him. Just walk away. Tuba just shows up, says, hey, that's enough. No Gold Fury. And in fact, I think he's the only one they didn't kill in that fight. So he's able to come back after having to leave that fight and able to stay alive long enough to stop him from going for the Gold Fury. If you look at the gold, it's fairly even compared to last game. Only 2,000 gold separate them here. 15 minutes. 33 kills, and not a whole lot of action in the last few minutes of play. Now I'm feeling a little bit more nervous about my 70 kill count.
If Tuba had ults when getting aggressive around that Gold Fury, I think there's a good chance right after it gets leashed that Tuba could have taken the Gold Fury away from them and actually made a pretty sick play for his team in this case.
A dunk in from Teepers. Quick teleport out means Gamma's ultimate goes to the wayside, so that'd be ult for ult. BennyQ doesn't have blink, so Promises safe for the time being. But BennyQ does have Pythag's Piece, does have a Bancroft's Talent, and a Stone of Fall, so he'll get a little bit of extra protections whenever he uses those basic attacks, which are, well, synonymous with going with Cabrakan.
Yeah, I'm also watching the Pythag's Piece has been picked up for BennyQ. He's going to be hitting pretty hard in some of these fights, and I'm excited to watch exactly what he does, especially considering with his scaling, actually him and Geb and Aquarius is hands down the tankiest member on this team. But I actually think the second tankiest is going to go to BennyQ, especially with the Bancrofts like the lifesteal keeping him alive. It's definitely not Gamma. Right
no,
now.
It's not Gamma.
Not with that build, and he is 1-6 for good reason. Not necessarily that I think he is like, he's not attempting to die.
No.
But he's definitely not doing himself any favors as trying to be the front line here.
I don't think Uzi is attempting neither, but he's taking quite a bit of damage. Half health, he'll drop the coffin and just use it for a little bit of damage immunity, turn around and get a quick stun against Benny, but there is nowhere for him to go. He's trapped behind the walls. Uzi does get a nice heal against the two of them, but now Kirmi has rotated over, and that is a dead mage if I've ever seen it. Uzi goes down, Promise low, Kirmi goes in, but a nice double knockup, and then immediately with the Calder too, but turns the fight back around. Kirmi is now the one who has to retreat, a 1-for-1 trade. The average Joes, though, they only get Gamma, so they only get the support. He's currently sitting 1-7. Now Tuba, well, he does go down in Aquarius, and BennyQ commit to killing the Hunter right there in the mid-tier 2.
Killing Tuba makes that worthwhile. Otherwise, you killed an 0-6-1 guy for a 1-7-8 guy. Like, neither of those players are really worth that much as of right now in terms of the kill pressure. Although the experience is always going to be nice. I like what Baroneri's doing. Nice. Look at that damage. That is what Hebo can give you. And honestly,
he's 7-2.
This is, a good performance from him. That double knockup was actually beautiful. I mean, you don't get to see those often. And when you do, especially with Peel like that, I mean, that is a bad team fight saved and salvaged thanks to Baroneri.
Not only that, there was the double Calder from a toss on the backline from Tuba off the double knockup and a double water hand. Yeah, I mean, that play single-handedly turned that fight at least to where the Joes don't just get wiped there. But they are down about 2,500 gold here, 17.5 minutes in, 20-17 on the kill count. So getting close to that 40. But it's been rather tame the last few minutes of the game. It was pretty much all action for the first 11-12, but they slowed down just a little bit.
And looking at the map state, a couple more fights for the Winter Dogs puts them in a very similar spot. Look, I'm giving this game...
He is so tanky.
8 more minutes, maybe.
Okay, so not only is he really tanky, he does a ton of damage. BennyQ basically took nothing during that because of the lifesteal that he has built, going for a third lifesteal item, by the way. Now with this Talon Trinket, Tier 2 picked up, could be getting Typhon's Fang.
Yeah, would be actually...
I'm not going to say could. Will be going Typhon's Fang. He already has the Bancrofts.
Yeah, so he's going to get the Typhon's Fang. I actually like it. Again, it's very lifesteal heavy, but I mean, who cares right now? You're 5, 4, and 8. You're doing a good chunk of damage, top of the player damage charts, and he's been getting sick walls. Anything that keeps him alive in this fight longer is going to be worthwhile for his team.
That is just my worst nightmare, seeing a Cabrakan get to sit there and Tremor for basically the entire duration of the ability. And there's nothing you can do to stop it. Obviously, it's against the Gold Fury, so it doesn't matter. It's just the most consistent damage he can put out when his other two abilities are down. But imagine you getting caught inside that, and he has like something like a Gem of Isolation, and you just don't get to exist. Okay, Aquarius in the middle of 2.
Yeah, he just whiffed a whole Cataclysm and then stood there knowing what he did. You know what you did. That was a sin. That is a Geb sin.
It's not fun. It might be one of the worst feelings in the world is whiffing that ultimate.
It's one of the biggest circles, too. It feels so bad to miss.
Yeah, it's a massive one. Tuba, he'll feel the massive damage of Gamma and BennyQ. He falls down. Quick ultimate out of Promise to try and get himself out, or maybe try to reposition to find Wowie. He'll jump right down, but Wowie has a little bit of immunity. He'll keep himself alive, but not for much longer. Baroneri rotates on the backside, gets the kill with the water hand, but Baroneri in danger now. Has the ultimate to try and get away, but he dives right into an axe from Gamma. Uzi still alive, and he'll run as fast as he can. A nice slow, use the snake for a root, but that root's not going to save you from Gamma. Quick ultimate puts him down, puts the Winter Dogs up with their 24th kill.
They're doing pretty well. Map state should start swinging in their favor a little more heavily as well. There's still a Tier 1, pesky Tier 1 over there on right, but pushing down to Tier 2. Took him a lot longer this time, BennyQ, to get this mid-Tier 2. About 5, almost 6 minutes longer than he did in game number 1. But they're going to have a lot of pressure. Still without a Fire Giant, they're getting this amount of jungle experience as well stripped away. This is a really good swing for the Winter Dogs in terms of just taking control of this game and finding what should be a big win. I don't know who I'm more confused by. I think Promise, because I don't know what his goal is over here.
I'm just wondering, like, because he rotated all the way up, he cleared out the wave, and then he decides he wants to contest the blue buff against Aquarius, who is now 4 levels up over him. I'm going to say probably equally tanky. Tuba's not very tanky. Gamma is. Calder's doing a lot of damage, actually. Gamma needs to get rid of that dog. Finally, he will smack it away. So Tuba does not get the kill against Gamma. Tuba also gets to live.
There's about to be a Thor
in the fight against Gamma. Promise and Teepers are here. Promise doesn't have ult. Teepers does. Dunk up in the sky. But he's going to find Wowie instead. A quick dunk down. But he needs the hammer and the stun afterward. Misses the second tap of the hammer. Promise is in from at least a blink in. Wowie trying to get some damage up against Teepers. He needs the final shot for the resurrection, but doesn't fire it in time. Instead, he'll go down, and Gamma trades out one. He's healing so much from that rain. My goodness, Benny Q's now over here. Promise. Yeah, there's no chance he goes in there. At least he dunks down, but Benny Q's immediately going to show him why he probably shouldn't have dunked in. Gamma still alive here. Kiermy gets a kill against Bayroniri and make that a double kill, one against Uzi, and well, Promise will regret his decisions. Benny Q puts him down.
What a wild ride. Something I will admit I did not think about with this Draugr is that there's a spot that you can now sit in that lane that is not reachable from Thor, for Thor. That was really, really clever from Gamma to run in there, make sure he stays safe. Really good peel from, what was that, Benny Q to make sure that things go their way. Also, Gamma's healing numbers are nuts. The self-healing that this Chalk has done is just insane.
Yeah, that's one thing, unfortunately, I don't think we can actually track on our little chart is how much self-healing he has done. But it's been a lot. I mean, he was at 1% health earlier. What were they taking so? Were they just waiting for? I guess they were
wanted to kill it with Mystical Mail.
That's what it was. I thought he was waiting for Wowie. I thought that's what it was.
No, they were alive.
But they were alive.
Everyone was up. He was just killing it with Mystical Mail.
Oh, Teepers. Maybe gets Gamma here. Nice double tap. Does take him down. That's a big kill. I say it's a big kill. It is the support Chalk that's not actually support. It's just damage Chalk in the support role.
Hey, but this Chalk was 1-7 once upon a time. Is now 5-8. That is actually
that's
big
a big
turnaround for Gamma.
That's a big shutdown.
So bravo to Gamma for picking things up. Also, you guys gotta look. You gotta figure this out. One more good team fight, because you're at 49 kills. We only need 6 more, okay? Make me right. If I'm on the money, too, that's even better.
Dude, if you're on the money...
If I'm plus or minus 3,
so if you're on the money, then I just walk out the door, right? I don't have to do anything else. You got it right. You're the clairvoyance here.
If I'm on the money, I deserve a raise. Hey, Hindu, man.
Hey, Hindu, man, if you're watching. Gormire's got some clairvoyance out here, baby.
If I get it wrong, you didn't hear anything.
Nothing happened. If he gets nothing.
I'm good at my job, I swear.
Promise is hoping that nothing happens to him. He's being chased out by both the frontliners. God, that might be the most intimidating thing to look back at, is to see a Kabrakan and a Geb both just hunting you down. Calder's doing a lot of damage against Kiermy. Teepers is not doing a lot of damage against Kiermy. It's the opposite way. Kiermy pretty much one-taps him. Promise dunks down in. That's a good kill for the support. Uzi, well, Uzi hasn't got to have a whole lot of fun on this Baron Somni today. He's been the primary target of aggression for just about everybody. 0-8, and, well, it might be 0-9. He'll go up on the coffin, but that'll only delay the inevitable. Wowie picks him up instantly. And now we're at 53 kills, Gore. You're getting close.
And there's only 2 people left.
The Promise. He'll take a good chunk of damage. Benny Q is just standing by and trimmering. But, hey, guys, the Phoenix is still up. You might want to take that before you go for these dives.
Oh, look, they've got 20 seconds here with just 2 people. Look, all they need to do, clear the Phoenix, get the 2 kills, take the Titan. And not only will it be 55, Promise. But it will be with around my estimate of 8 minutes. I said that at 18 minutes. So anything, look, I'm happy.
Promise and Tuba still alive, though. The Tremors are pulling Tuba out of the fountain. He has nowhere to go. Aquarius gets a double knockup. The axe tossed in. Now Bayroniri has respawned with Teepers. A quick dive in. Benny Q gets hit, and the ultimate for the crushing wave takes him down, but it's a 1-for-1. And now we're at that 55, but it's going to go even higher. Teepers with some empowered autos are getting some good damage off, and he'll take him down, but it's a 1-1 trade in that fight. Now, it's Tuba trying to get a kill against Gamma, but Gamma's healing, and the shield from Aquarius is going to make sure that this Chalk stays alive just a little bit longer. Promise up on the tree, crashes right down on top of Gamma, gets the beads, and the coffin only picks up Aquarius, but it's Promise who grabs Gamma. Mid lane Phoenix went down a long time ago, but now it might be the rest of the Winter Dogs who are falling.
J-Mac, the stars started to align for me, man. I'm heartbroken. Aquarius just got to stay alive.
He's so tanky.
Yeah, look, hey, look at that build. This is Geb, all right? This is peak Geb. I don't know what you're going to do running into the base right here, especially with the slows, the stuns.
Tuba is praying for his life. This Geb gets nowhere near him. You see how far back he's sitting.
Aquarius is going back. No. Okay, he's got the CC immunity.
He's trying to kill
Tuba. All he needs is one more shockwave.
Good heal.
Oh, come on. No, Aquarius, you got to keep going.
The heal from Uzi was enough to get him. Tuba's living. Okay, there's another heal. Tuba's not dying here. Good. Finally take down. That took so long to kill that Geb. Aquarius is so tanky on it. That's a 55-second respawn timer.
And you know what? It's more than 55 kills, and
is.
they've gone past my 8-minute. Well, in 30 seconds, they'll have gone past the 8-minute estimate I had for the game to end.
So far, you've lost price.
You've on both.
Actually, no, you're still technically winning.
Price is Right is closest without going over.
Correct. So you're still technically winning the Price is Right rules here.
Yeah, but I've lost on my rules, and that's all that matters to me. On principle, I'm a failure.
It's hard to predict.
that was rough. Hold on.
That was a quick turn there, Gore.
I'm going to take a break.
Hold on now, Gore. Take a breather for a moment while the rest of these players finally get a moment to take a breath. It's been nonstop action the last couple of minutes of the game, and really it's just been Tuba praying for his life in the last couple of minutes as Aquarius was constantly rolling around. Teepers goes up in the sky looking for Kirmi. Maybe we'll dunk back on Wowie, but now Gamma is here. He'll be surrounded as soon as he lands. Gets the wall, misses the hammer. Teepers is dead. Just dead. You missed everything and paid the price for it.
I don't know what feels worse, unfortunately that death was very quick, or I guess maybe fortunately, but we did watch you miss all of it. So that
live
lives forever.
I was going to say live in 4K, but I think it's only in 1080.
Someone will upscale it.
Maybe.
You know what?
Somebody might be watching.
Not like us, but like somebody could upscale.
Somebody else can, and maybe somebody else will. Wowie's going to need a lot of help. Some good Centaur's damage. Actually, he'll get the revive because that third shot's not even necessary. Promise he's going to get turned around and burned down. That's 4 gone from the average Joes. And now Winter Dogs can try and push up and end this game. It's just Uzi left to defend. Teepers not for another 15 seconds. Winter Dogs, they finally found their opportunity in the base, and it looks like they might just take it here.
Yeah, Fire Giant just respawns, but you've got one person standing between you and the Titan. Yeah, run this one down.
Yeah, Kirmi does not care about the snake. He might want to care about the coffin. Uzi's going to pull him in, get a little turnaround stun. Long enough for Teepers to respawn. That gets a kill against Kirmi, holding him in the Titan, or holding him in the fountain, I should say. Wowie is low. Teepers does hit that ult. It's a quick get shield out of Aquarius, and well, Teepers will take a ton of damage, and Wowie will take a lot, but Teepers takes just a little bit more. Uzi is here to play the lone defense, and well, some solid healing out of the Baron. He finally gets to play for a while. For so long, Uzi was, the primary target for this Winter Dogs team, but he finally gets to at least sit back and get some damage up.
Mid Phoenix actually respawns here. They've got fire minions.
He's bottom player damage,
someone's got to take care of that. Aquarius seems to be maybe the one who's going to walk over. Nope. I'm surprised. It feels...
He didn't. He just let it live.
Hey, guys, that Phoenix is there. You got to kill that if you want to kill the Titan.
That Phoenix can't be living with much health.
Did you know this?
That Phoenix cannot have much health. It has to have, maybe one Fire Archer shot left. They could just walk in and take it. Or they could just walk in and kill all of them instead. That's a very realistic possibility. Promise has ult to get away. Tuba, he has the Aegis up, so Gamma won't kill him. Instead, it'll be Wowie who kills him. Centaurus from the backline. Baroniri trying to close the gap against Gamma. Needs that crushing wave, or just maybe waiting for the water hands to take him out. That'll be enough. Over 600 damage on that ability, even up against Gamma. Now, mine has gone for a damage build. Uzi, oh wait, hold on. He has alternate timeline. I was like, wait, why is everybody just standing around Uzi? I didn't realize he went alternate timeline. That's enough to maybe turn this fight back around. Kirmi with a big crushing, or with a Baroniri with a big crushing wave. Uzi with the double kill. Aquarius low. Maybe a quick turnaround here for the average Joes. They take down Aquarius. That's a forced swing for him.
I was disgustingly wrong with the amount of kills this game.
Well, now I'm technically over. I said 70. We're at 71.
Good news, Price is Right rules, you will only be correct because I didn't guess a number higher than that.
Can they beat the 74 from yesterday? That's the question, and the answer is probably
They're
yes.
at 71. They had, wait,
hold on a sec.
Accidentally get 74 kills.
Hold on a sec. Forget anything that we were just talking about. Kirmi just soloed Fire Giant.
Yeah. You do that sometimes.
He just walked up and took it. He said, yo, team, I'm glad you're having fun up there, fighting and dying and all, but I'm just going to go ahead and grab FG.
All right, J-Mac, we got to look at the really important details here, okay?
Okay.
How many people are eligible to get a triple-double so far? Right now, I'm looking over here at you, Baronary. You got to get 3 more deaths, 1 more assist. I'm looking over at you, Teepers. 5 more kills, baby. Pick them up. I'm also looking at Wowie. 9, 7, and 11. It's pretty easy. You got to be able to get 1 more kill, 3 more deaths.
4 more kills.
Gamma 4 more kills is in there.
Well, there's 1, so that puts him pretty close. Maybe he can get a second one here. That's 2. That gets him close to it. Promise he'll get a turnaround kill. Will the Crusher be enough? That's 3 for Gamma. He's 1 away from Gamma. Look, all we had to do was talk about the triple-double, and he's able to get some. Now he just needs Tuba, the ultimate test of Gamma. Can he get the kill against Tuba, who gave him so much trouble in in the earlier part of the game? No, what is Tuba doing?
Tuba. in his natural habitat.
He just threw Calder out at a single fire minion. I don't even think WoW was deterred by it. He probably just saw it and went, okay, what are you going to do? Tuba's here. They got to give it to him. Gamma has to get it. He's the only one who can get the triple-double now.
Oh, but nope. He's going the wrong direction. Gamma,
come back.
That is the wrong way to go to get this kill, buddy.
Gamma, come back. You got to get your triple-double. Don't let Tuba just walk away here. Don't let Wowie get the kill. He's already at 10 kills. Nope, never mind. All right, well, triple-double's ruined. Gamma doesn't get it.
No triple-doubles this game.
Makes me really sad. But Winter Dogs do end the game here. It took quite a while to do, actually, here. Yeah, 77. That's some quick math for you. And a respawn out of Teepers that dive in. Teepers does get one. Hey, there we go. Gamma got it. Gamma got it.
Gamma got it. Gamma gets a triple-double. Let's go, baby. That's the most exciting thing that happened in that set. I'm not kidding. That's just factual. That was the most exciting part of it.
Let's go. Gamma gets a nice triple-double to end the set. Winter Dogs get a nice little win to round out Week 10 for the NA SCC. They hold first seed. But Gamma's triple-double, the most important on Chalk support that didn't build any defense. It was all damage.
I don't care. He got the triple-double.
Hey,
look, that was 31 minutes. He made it worth my while. That's all I care about.
We're going to go ahead and cut it to a quick break, and then we'll come right back after to break. I'm not even going to say breakdown. We'll come back to close out the SCC. Welcome back to the Smite Challenger Circuit, a winner dogs game here. I was going to say a win for winner dogs here in game 2, but I completely botched it right out the gate. So let's reprise that. Hey, a win for the winner dogs here in game number 2, and a set win for them to round out the NASCC. They get to guarantee themselves. Oh, they already did, but now they 100% get to guarantee themselves a first seed position here for the NASCC. Average shows they put up a much stronger fight here in game number 2 than they did in game number 1. But at the end of the day, we had, what was it, 75, 76
77
kills? 77. That's what it was. 77 kills here in game number 2 of the NASCC. Let's jump right in and see some of those replays. Probably the only thing I think that you really care was we did get to see an actual triple-double.
No, it's actually this. This is a great play by Wowie. Could have been a little better. A little slow on the body blocks.
Yeah,
might have been a much better turnaround for
had
the
full
average
movement speed up by then.
Able to do. Yeah, it was just a little bit slow on reaction for him. Could have been some of the best body blocks. It was against his own teammate. Ignore that part. Could have been really cool, really funny.
I think the best body blocks were in game number 1 for First Blood.
Those were actually really good body blocks.
Those were good body blocks.
Yeah,
that was them.
Wowie's
that
kills
was them
in comparison, but only because he wasn't successful.
Yeah, he didn't have Gamma to get the body block for him because Gamma set up the body block and then Wowie was able to close it for him. But this time it all came down to just Wowie by himself.
We're also missing the most important detail of this game, and it's because it hasn't happened yet, because we're only 29 minutes in. But you got, first off, this was an important triple kill.
Very important.
Okay, because Gamma was at 6 and 10.
6.
And needed 4 kills to get up to the triple-double. He goes to 9 and 10. And we didn't get the most important moment, which was him getting that last kill and getting the triple-double at 10, 10, and 17.
10, 10, 17, the only triple-double on the board, which is honestly kind of surprising for
With
a 77 kills on the board.
That is
three
nuts.
of his teammates got at least 2/3 of that. They
were close.
They got double-digit kills, double-digit assists, but he's the only one who got the double-digit death.
Yeah, we work on a binary scale. Were they triple doubles? No. Sucks. Doesn't matter. You could have been right there. Doesn't matter. He didn't get it.
He didn't even get top damage. He didn't get top damage, but the 34,000 damage out of Wowie. And with that, let's jump into the standings to see where everything for the NASCC rounds out, because that was the last match of the NASCC Phase 2 regular season play. All that's left now for the top 3 teams here is to go to playoffs. Sleekness, with their loss yesterday, they're going to have to face off against the SOC team, the number 1 SOC team, in a wild card spot to see who does get to meet them in the playoffs.
And it's worth mentioning the placement rounds that happened in December for SWC. The top 2 teams from North America and top 2 teams from the Europe Challenger Circuit playoffs will make their way there. So having the top 3 here immediately gets scooted into that, as well as potentially seeing Sleekness or the SOC team, whoever in Europe and whoever in North America are able to win their brackets or just make it to the finals of their bracket, then get their chance against those Pro League teams as well. I think it's 3rd through 8th that will be sent there immediately. The other 2 get a bye straight to the semis, and then you get a fun jumble of potentially seeing all sorts of weird stuff happen during the SWC in January.
Final SCC game of the regular season for them is going to be tomorrow. Elysium and Just F6 will be our final SCC set until those playoffs, until those wild cards.
I'll be
SCC,
here.
You will be here.
Yep.
I will not be. Well, I won't be right here. I'll be in one of the other rooms instead, watching and sitting by.
Because if you're not here by 12:30, that's like you're late.
Right.
Well, you're late for work. I'm telling you that now.
Okay. Well, now I know. Okay, so now I know a good metric. I got a half-hour window there, but. Anyways.
I'll be here.
You'll already be here.
Somebody will know.
You'll be here. I think Mifflin might be here too.
Yeah, it's me and Miff.
It is you and Mifflin. That'll be a fun one for you guys for Elysium and Just F6, though.
It'll be something.
But that's not all that we have today, Gore. We got to have some fun here to start out the day. Now we get to break it right down into the big guns here with the SPL all-land matchups. Everybody's going to be here in studio. Jade Dragons and Tartarus Titans, the first set of the day. Olympus Bolts and Solar Scarabs, our second set. And then tomorrow we got the Oni Warriors and the Valhalla Valkyries. And Atlantis Leviathan and Tartarus Titans also going to be here in studio. So 3 studio matches left out of the 4 matches left to be played this weekend.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch these today as well. I think there's a lot of weight to each of these games. Dragons Titans, I think, has a lot behind it. Dragons have been on a pretty big hot streak. The Titans have been looking good lately, and so this is just going to be a good heat check, I guess, for them realistically. And I still have some high hopes for the Scarabs. I think today is the day that they either those high hopes get buried or they prove themselves to have merit to them. There we go.
We'll see how everything breaks down for the SPO. We're going to take it to a break, and we'll be back at 1 p.m. EST to get you guys started with the SPO. So go ahead and take a little break, get yourself some snack, get yourself a drink, use the bathroom. We'll be back at 1 o'clock.
Lunchtime.